Hey, it's Kolter and Meredith, and how lucky are we today? Bastille in living color, in flesh. Thank you very much for being here, gentlemen.
Hello there.
In flesh, yeah.
We're in the flesh. There it
There
is.
you go. Well, you watch Black Mirror, I'm sure. You can never be
Westworld?
too sure these days. Sure, Westworld. Is one of you a cyborg, is what I'm getting at. Okay, that's what I thought.
Perfect.
Yeah.
There is this new app that can put your face on anyone now.
Yes.
We made a music video yesterday, and they were saying in the near future, most artists won't need to turn up to music videos because there's this incredible new technology developed in China,
Okay.
where they can it takes 3 seconds and they can perfectly map your face onto anyone.
That is
Yep.
going to save so much time.
I also feel like it's these apps, though, that are the ones that are also stealing all of your information and photos.
This is
though,
true.
So.
This is true.
Is that going to be admissible in court as well?
I just like the idea of all these celebrities just being at home, just pigging out on the sofa, getting really fat, and they're like, I don't care anymore. I could just send out a body double and they
Yeah.
can superimpose my face on them.
Not just celebrities. That's my dream as
That's
well.
everybody's dream,
a
yeah. I don't know why I said
glorified body
celebrities,
double,
yeah.
If I could just sit at home and pig out, that's the dream.
And then
Well,
we're,
and
then
to
we're
be really tan and to have super white teeth.
Yeah.
Tan
yeah.
teeth. That's another dream.
tan teeth.
Yeah.
That's the future.
Yeah.
Let's start it.
Let's talk about the new album, Doom Days, because you guys did something really interesting. It's not just an album, it's kind of an experience in that it chronicles an entire night out during the apocalypse. Explain this to me.
Well, where do we start?
To begin with, it's the apocalypse is more like a metaphor. It can be anyone's personal apocalypse, be
Okay.
it a breakup, be it Brexit, which is a disaster, or any other political unrest.
I guess there's a lot of artists and bands talking about, rightfully addressing the confusion and, the confusion of living in 2019 and the last few years and everything that's happening in the world. I think we wanted to find a way to talk about it in a way that felt really personal. So, it's quite like an intimate, personal album, and the sort of the structure of a night out allows you to talk about all these different things and touch on these different points that are quite relatable. And we can draw on a fair amount of experience from nights out on tour, but also to talk about how that relates to the wider world and use that as a kind of metaphor. Like Woody was saying, if we're talking about a breakup, it'd be weird being British at the moment to reference a breakup and not. It's just an easy win to use the metaphor of Brexit and a breakup. But yeah, we also just wanted to have fun with it. So like a night out allowed us to sort of push the music at points into kind of like 90s rave territory and more like dreamscape weirdness. So yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was a nice process of making it.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Brexit because I was listening to your album again this morning, and it feels very political. I have a couple of lyrics here from Divide. Why would we divide when we could come together? And from Another Place. So don't make promises to me that you're going to break. Don't paint wonderful lies on me that wash away. And I feel like you're in the midst of Brexit. We've got the 2020 election in the United States next year, and we've got a federal election here in Canada as well. Kind of seems like the perfect kind of political anthem right now.
I think there's always complications being in a band and talking about politics and talking about bigger things beyond you, because it's easy to look at people who are making music and kind of roll your eyes when they want to talk about anything like that. But I think we kind of like thought about that quite a lot making this record, and that's why it is how it is. I think everything works on a few levels. The record, it's a story of a person's night out. It's also slightly wider of like, our group and sort of generational thing. And then it does speak to bigger issues. And I think we wanted people to be able to take what they want from it. We thought about music and what it is to us, and we had a moment at a festival a few years ago where we had this sort of quite politicized production behind us. It was a guy in drag as Theresa May screaming this song about faking it, and we were really proud of it, and it was really, everyone was having a good time, but we were like, God, we're at a festival. These people probably don't want to be thinking about Brexit and Theresa May right now, So there is this weird tension. But I feel I'm kind of comfortable with how much we talked about it, and I think the album, it's kind of escapist and it's fun, but that stuff is there. I think it's seeped in the language of the lyrics because that's just part of, things like the conversations around Trump and Brexit and, and politics here and everywhere. It's become so stitched into like the fabric of everything. It's inescapable via social media and everything. So I think, it's this, we wanted to reflect that in the album. But hopefully it's there, but not like rammed down your throat, because no one wants to be reminded of that all the time. Sorry, that was a really long answer. Sorry.
No, it's great. We love long answers. They're perfect. We do love the album. I wanted to talk about your music as a whole because you guys are one of those bands where your music is so heavily featured in video games, TV shows, movies. You hear it kind of all over the place. What is your stance on that in terms of, 2019? It feels like that's how people discover music nowadays. Do you guys find that that's how a lot of your fan base is discovering you guys, still finding you guys, getting to learn about your songs?
Yeah, I think definitely, especially so like FIFA, for instance. Our songs have been on a few of the yearly games, and people who wouldn't otherwise go, oh, like I'll check out this band. Like we'll just play a game, and then we come on and say, oh yeah, I like this song. Who is it? Oh, it's Bastille. And then it just kind of just pushes the music out to a wider audience, and people who might not sort of necessarily go to a festival or sort of like just type in Bastille and see what's happening.
And in the way people consume music these days is so different. Over the last few years, it's evolved so much, and having a big single isn't kind of what it was before, and so if FIFA want to use one of our songs, or a TV show does, or a film, like Carl said, it sort of gives you this moment, particularly at a set. Like it's funny playing at a festival and a tune that might have been in in FIFA, for example, you'll see like loads of the blokes like perk up. Well, not necessarily just the blokes,
I know
but
this
like
one.
yeah,
But even like performing in the game, and Meredith, you had talked about this, I think yesterday, that some bands, they're kind of being digitized and performing inside a video game. I can't remember who you had mentioned it was.
Marshmallow did a whole 10-minute DJ set. didn't
One
he?
time, yeah, in
Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
which was
of.
nuts, and that was the song that we were involved in, and the song like shot back up to like number 2 in the US charts after that. So it's just it's interesting to see how people hear music and what influences people, and it's exciting. I guess for us, we started we've always written and produced our own music and made it in a bedroom and in a little studio with our friend. And when we started out, we were like playing pubs and toilet venues. We like properly worked from the ground up, like a sort of old school band. But at the same time, the internet exists and TV shows exist and video games exist, and so it's been kind of interesting for us. I feel like we sit in this slightly weird place where we've sort of done things in a slightly old school way in some respects, but also have managed to have another foot in that world. If you'd said to us like 6 years ago when we put our first album out that we'd have a massive single with a guy who wears a marshmallow on his head and that's digitized in a computer game called Fortnite, played by like millions and millions of people, I don't know what we would have said, but it's quite like a nice reflection of how things have moved on and how things have changed.
Absolutely. It certainly expands the fan base. Well, we don't want to keep you for too much longer because we know you've got a big show tonight. So thank you again so much to Bastille for dropping by. Brand new album, Doom Days, is out right now.
Thanks so much for having us.